Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Yap Off podcast. It's the 6th episode. I'm your host, Ted, along with me, Sam, Joe, and back from his assignment, Jon.
Yes, huge assignment, family
We're making
vacation.
noise now.
Yeah, I heard. I got a notification that we were responding to Ted's intro now. So
I think I was left off that chain.
Yeah, I was left off that chain.
oh, I guess I'm just that tight with our executive producer. I guess
Maybe next time we'll be back to normal programming. I'm gonna try to avoid dating this podcast with sports, because one of my friends was trying to describe this podcast to another friend, and they said they talk about movies and sports, which is untrue. I mean, we do talk about those things, but
we talk about one at a time, buddy. Okay?
Yeah, but also like it was
we talk
like
about movie and sport.
Yeah, but also we did other topics like music and high school memories. They're different. It's not just sports. I just like to use sports to date the podcast because otherwise I'll kill myself if I have to use like news headlines to date the podcast. You know what I mean?
Now we're demonetized.
Well, we're not even monetized anyway, buddy.
No, when you're using language like that.
Well, we were already.
Yeah.
We were already before the language. It's the adult tour. You can say whatever the heck you want. I was expecting Sam to say jizz or something, but oh well.
Well, I'm trying to save our monetization. It's in a bad enough spot.
It's already too late. So I guess I'll date the podcast by saying the Switch 2 was announced. It's going to cost $800 for I'm not going to get into political reasons, but that is going to cost $900. Joe, I need some.
I thought this was a Minecraft movie review podcast. What is going on right now?
I've seen so many videos of people just like obviously COVID broke our brains, and like people are just being raucous in the theaters for that movie and just recording, and I'm so glad I don't need to see this movie because I'd lose my mind in the theaters.
Yeah.
Really brief aside, while we're talking about movies, I went to go see a movie yesterday, and the fire alarm went off 5 minutes into the movie, and so they kicked us all out and gave us a comp ticket. They wouldn't just restart the movie. I was devastated. Never happened to me before.
Because they're on a timer. It happened to me when I saw Wolf of Wall Street. We got halfway through, the speakers blew out, and they're like, either you guys can wait for the next one and you'll get ticket free entry in, or you get a comp. And I looked at my parents and said, this movie blows. Let's get out of here.
All right. What were you going to ask me, Ted? Yes.
Instant reaction on the Nintendo Direct.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I think the Joy-Cons are bigger, which I appreciate. You know, it was a little uncomfortable holding those teensy tiny Joy-Cons before. I was watching the Treehouse Live events the next couple of days where they're showing off the games like they usually do. Think of the old E3 presentations, you know, where they're playing the games. And Metroid Prime 4 had me screaming at the top of my lungs. It looks amazing. It was gorgeous. The guy was like seamlessly changing from Joy-Con mode to mouse and keyboard, quote unquote, mode where his right hand was used like a mouse. I'm very excited. I think not excited the prospect of the price of games, and not even talking about the cost of the Switch. I'm going to try to get that bundle to save myself a couple of bucks, but I guess we're going to have to start being a little bit more picky and choosy on what games we want to play. So sorry, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm not going to be able to partake because Mario Kart World and Metroid Prime 4 are that's the two games I'm going to be able to afford to purchase.
Oh, I'm just getting Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't care. And Metroid. I do not care about Mario Kart at all.
You could play as a cow.
Oh, okay. I can do that in Scribblenauts. Ever heard of it?
It's not $80, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm a fan.
There were some other games that were announced that weren't $80, right?
Yeah, it seems to be a Nintendo, whatever first party. I don't know what you'd call it.
Yeah, first party would be the correct term. It's insane that it's $70 to buy games you already own to get them upgraded to Switch 2 versions.
I did see a tweet, or excuse me, I saw a TikTok. I don't know if I sent it to you. I probably didn't. I forgot. And it was like Nintendo Switch 2 presentation in a nutshell. I wish I remember who it was. But the guy was like, Nintendo Switch 2 presentation in a nutshell. And he comes on screen, he goes, big Zelda fan, huh? Prove it. Buy it again. Full price.
I know. It's insane that's where Nintendo's at.
But they got me.
I won't be a day oneer on the Switch 2.
Are you waiting for a Pokemon
I'm waiting
version
for more
of the console?
No, I'd be waiting for more games.
Okay.
Is where I'm at, because I'm not gonna just buy it and just play Donkey Kong and Metroid Prime and be like, all right, I have this console I spent $800 on until like Pokemon ZA comes out or whatever.
Yeah, I am gonna feel like an idiot buying the Mario Kart World one, and then 4 months later, they're gonna announce a freaking Pokemon one that if I just waited, I could have got.
Yeah, but that one's gonna cost
one.
$1,200, so you're probably better off.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's a little apropos that we're talking Nintendo because this episode's theme is Pokemon. Not for it to be favored in any one specific way. Because
I'll remain quiet. Remain quiet.
I don't love Perez and my chances of winning this episode.
Don't worry. These questions, they're not about competitive viability. Who's got the best? Who's the best on mic during Worlds? Is Wolfie Glick gonna repeat? Is none of that stuff. Don't worry. It's very similar questions to the veins I've been asking usually.
Perez, just say Charizard. You got this.
Well, yeah, that's the number one strategy. This is coming from the guy that it doesn't fix the other drafts.
I do fix it. I liked it when Roz was.
It's already minus 10,000.
I liked it when Roz was on the podcast last week.
1-1.
I liked it when Roz was here, not saying I didn't have to deal with any draft fixing stuff, no controversies there. But we're back to it. It's happy to have you back, John.
Listen, Roz is one of your guys. He falls in line. He's sticking with the company message, and he's a good guy. So of course I would expect him to say that.
But Roz did win the last episode.
Oh, shocker! That one of your guys won by proxy.
You weren't even here.
He's still allowed to be offended. It's life.
Yeah,
Ted.
but John, just because he took your place does not count as a win for you in the.
Ted, who exudes imperialism, just put Roz in as a proxy head. Yeah. So if Roz won, then Ted won, and if Ted won, Ted won.
I didn't win.
You had a 50% chance.
But Roz won.
So
I don't win these. I don't win the non-draft episodes.
Funny how the polls always sway your way.
I would argue you shouldn't win the draft episodes either, but
why?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who the voting populace is.
Wait, but hold on. First of all, you put me in a very precarious decision to defend Ted, which is something I don't often do.
Yeah.
But Ted's not even eligible to win non-draft episodes.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
He's Tony Reale.
I've devised the questions. I feel like if I have...
See, Joe, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
If I answer my own questions, I know how I want the questions to be answered.
This is crazy.
One day this will all be uncovered, and you'll all say, wow, Perez was right.
Perez is wrong, as usual. As always, Perez is wrong. With that out of the way, let's get on to the first question. What type would your gym be, and who would your ace be? Who would be your guy, your go-to? I'm backed into the corner, bottom of the ninth inning. Who do I want? Game 7 World Series. Who am I starting? Let's hear it.
What type is Shohei Ohtani?
What type is Shohei Ohtani?
What element?
Well, the Dodgers are blue, so
Dodgers
are blue, so they're water type. Obviously, the Pirates are yellow, so they're electric. There's a lot of water types I'm learning.
First of all, there's other blue-colored elements. For example, the flying type is also associated with
That's
blue.
like a sky blue, though. So, but no one's really got a sky blue.
I guess that's the Royals. The Royals are flying.
Well, the Royals are still a deep blue. Anyways, Joe, let me hear.
They're quite literally royal blue, but I don't know what you're talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. Royal blue is a darker blue, not like a sky blue, is what I'm saying.
I feel uncomfortable in this podcast, as I feel like I got targets surrounding me here, as the audience has expectations. You have expectations.
I don't have expectations.
Perez is already judging me.
Perez has a gun trained on you right now. Yes. He is outside your apartment ready to go.
2 guns.
All right, fine, John. Go ahead. You can go first.
Yes.
You can save your guns for later. Save your ammo.
Yeah, you
for
got
later.
it. No problem. If I'm right, and my memory is a little wonky these days.
Yes.
I'm going along the theme of the Fuchsia City gym, back in red and blue version.
Mhm.
And if I'm right, you can't just walk straight to the gym leader.
Yes.
Correct.
Like you have to.
You got shooters in front of you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. And like every good basketball team, you need shooters in the corners. So yeah, that would be my theme. I don't like the choice of wheezing, coughing.
Yeah.
mucking,
You can change.
coughing
You can
out.
change the type if you don't like poison.
I understood the question.
Okay. No, I'm saying like
Um,
you can keep that gym theme. You know what I'm saying, like the invisible walls or whatever.
No, I got you the first time.
Okay.
I'm back. You don't have to re-explain it for Joe. No, I'm teasing.
The question's open to interpretation. You can answer however you want.
Yes. I would mix it up. I would throw in obviously Charizard, maybe Starmie,
Hold on.
Tangela.
Buzzer.
We don't accept Charizard here. We rule under a new god, a different god, not Charizard.
Also, you have multiple types here.
Yeah. Also, you have multiple types. So
You're a gym leader.
Oh, I have to keep one type, right?
Yeah. Right.
Like
yeah.
there can be the secondary type. Can
Yes,
change,
yes.
But all
Like,
of them have to share.
If you were a
one
flying
type.
type, you could still have Charizard. You'd still get Bad Take Buzz anyways.
Well, if I'm right, Charizard was not a flying type in red.
Yes, he
Right.
was
He was the whole time.
the whole time.
Was he? What was he? But he couldn't learn fly.
Yeah, good.
In red?
Yeah.
No way. I'm gonna.
I'll hold you. You guys continue to yap. I will.
All right, yeah, look that up. please.
Research this for you
Because
guys.
there was one game where he couldn't learn fly, and it was a catastrophe. No, I'll stick with the fire. I'll go
All right.
with Charizard, Growlithe, Ponyta,
Ooh.
and Ditto, but Ditto as Charmeleon.
That's not how Ditto.
Okay.
Nice.
That's not how
You're
Ditto
cooking.
works. But all
You're
right,
cooking.
I'll
You're
allow it.
No. Let him cook. I love it.
Yes.
Hey, John, I have confirmed in Generation 1, Charizard could learn fly.
All right, then I'm missing something. There was. I'll look it up. You guys
Yeah, sure.
go over there.
Fun
Definitely was a
fact.
game.
Yeah.
Growlithe
Yes.
cannot learn growl. Maybe that's a little fun fact.
Yeah, and
Check
a
that
fun
out.
fact, Arcanine is called the legendary Pokemon.
Yes, he is, even though he's not.
Yeah, Sam, typing and give me your ace. I'm assuming Charizard's your ace, John?
Correct.
Okay.
Just pre-warning you, Ted. I might get Bad Take buzzed for this one.
Okay.
So get your finger on the trigger.
It's always there.
Electric style gym. If you walk in the wrong direction on your way to the gym leader, you get buzzed. Nobody likes that. Very annoying for them. And when you make it up to me, Sam, the gym leader, my number one, even though it's a legendary Pokemon, is Zapdos. Yeah.
As I've written in an
Okay.
upcoming video, only children use legendary Pokemon.
Well, guess what? Guess who's a child?
You?
I guess me. Yeah, and I guess if I couldn't do Zapdos because I'm a child and that's forbidden in a game that is aimed toward children.
Great point.
Give me Jolteon.
Ooh,
Yeah, try hitting the buzzer now.
I'm not. It's not there.
that's a great
I
choice.
know.
It's because it's not a
but
bad
yeah.
answer.
I always like the electric ones, mostly just because, like, obviously you could only start with, non-electric ones. So when you finally got to uncover the new types as you got further in the game, it was like, like unlocking new levels of a map, basically, but just with characters. And when I was like 9 years old, I thought that was amazing. So would love to be the leader of a really annoying electric style gym.
Okay.
I like it. I
Now,
like it. That helps me. with my
snipers have
answer.
taken their position. They're ready to go. Joe.
So, I have noticed that I have a tendency when I look through my favorite Pokemon. You guys can do this test online too. You can rank all your favorite Pokemon.
I've done that.
It's a fun time.
Yes. It's a fun like hour and a half because there's a lot.
It does take a while, yes. So I have an affinity for fighting types, apparently.
Ooh.
As my top 3 favorite Pokemon of all time. 1 is Keldeo, 2 is Lucario, and 3 is Infernape. So I also love Marshadow, the legendary. I'm not using Marshadow. Don't give me the button. Don't give me the buzzer. But I would have a dojo style gym, like, think like the Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. You just walk in. We're ready to fight. There's no games. There's no gimmicks. You're not gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna scrap. That's my gym. I'm ready. I'm ready to defend my town. And my ace would be Infernape, because what's great about Infernape is it is statistically the strongest starter Pokemon that we have had. Technically, they're called first partner Pokemon, but I don't want to get into it. We're going to call them starter Pokemon for the conversation here today.
I'm telling Pikachu that you're going
that I'm not following. Yes, because of his speed, his stat distribution, his wide attacks, like the wide variety of different types of attacks, and being a potential physical sweeper and special attacking sweeper. Very difficult for my opponents coming into the dojo, the Joe Dojo, to know what type of set I'm going to be running on my Infernape as my ace.
Well, Joe, I hate to say it. We got the same gym typing, brother.
Are you fighting?
I love fighting types. I've
I
always
thought you'd be like a ghost kind of guy.
No, I love fight. There's something about fighting types that I've always loved. Like before the evolution got released, like Primeape was like a Pokemon I've loved.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when he got an evolution, I was like stoked beyond belief. So my ace Pokemon would be Annihilape, the evolution of Primeape for people who don't know.
I got it. I'm on it.
Thank you for explaining.
Yes, he's a ghost fighting type because he gets so mad he dies and becomes Annihilape.
And that's essentially Ted in a nutshell.
That's canon to Pokemon. That's what his Pokedex entry says, I believe.
That's what he looks like.
That's what he looks like.
To Sam and Perez. What are your thoughts? It kind of looks like Ted, honestly.
I'm shaved, so I don't got the beard anymore.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
Yeah, but it would be a fighting type. It would be Annihilape, Scrafty, or the evolution of it would be in there. I gotta rep Gen 1, Hitmonlee, the better of the 2 fighting types you can get.
Wow.
Would be in there.
It
is a hot take, yes, I do. I do know, but yes.
The podcast is 4 hot takes.
It is. That is the point of the podcast.
Good answer.
But here we go. Question number 2. And I have some visual aids for this one. Are the new Pokemon designs bad, or do we just lack the wonder and curiosity of a child? And, on the screen are some just bad Pokemon designs that people seem to really key in on, going, wow, they don't have the juice anymore when they make a new Pokemon, like regular bird, ball, pile of goo, trash.
It's so funny. It's funny that Pidgey gets dragged when Pidgeot looks awesome. You know what I mean? And like, sure, Pidgey's just a pigeon, but like Pidgeot looks awesome. I've never seen a bird in my life that looks like Pidgeot.
I've seen a bird that looks like Pidgey.
I've seen a ball that looks like,
I have workout balls. I know what a ball looks like.
This is a different kind of question, because like, really, what it comes down to is we have to ask a real life 10-year-old currently what their thoughts are on the Pokemon.
Yeah, they're not playing Pokemon. They care about the Minecraft movie.
That's fair.
And Roblox.
Fair too. Execute is also like just lazy.
Yes. I always bring up this point because like they always key on like new, obviously Joe hears it a lot with like just the new games. Wow, look at trying to think
of one.
Are they even
trying anymore?
Yeah, are they even trying anymore? And like I'm always just like, have you guys seen like ball, like metal ball with magnets? Like there are bad designs, but it's not just unique to the new ones.
Bro, listen, for like one that gets a lot of flack is like toucanon, right? It's literally a toucan bird, like the toucan Sam, like from Serial. Literally looks just like him. But that's what they're going for, right? So some of the times they're just matching real life stuff. For example, which I had learned just a couple weeks ago, for we talked about Gen 1 designs. There's a seal. There's a seal in the game called Seal, right? And then it evolves into a Pokemon called Dugong, which apparently is an actual animal on this planet. There's an animal called a Dugong.
Yeah.
So, like, that is how simplified some of those Gen 1 Pokemon were. So,
I guess, like, really the question comes down to, are we cherry picking because we're older and are nostalgic for Gen 1? Which there's an obvious answer to that.
Right. So my thought on this is, like, I don't think the designs are necessarily bad or boring. I mean, there's only so much you can do to evolve what a bird looks like, you know? For me, it's more the names can be super lazy, which Joe was sort of pointing out a little bit. Like, you know, there's two different snake Pokemon that are just different forms of like snake spelled backwards. Or like,
yeah,
you know, like Joe said, there's Seal, which is a seal. Like, to me, that's more like, come on, guys, like, try a little bit harder. Like, I think the designs are whatever. Like, I'm not going to object too much to, you know, oh, they haven't evolved what Pidgeotto looks like from 1999 too much to now in the newer generations. And it's just like, it's fine.
I think there's a bit of a, you know, like these Gen 1 Pokemon, like they're the Bill Russells. They're out here playing against plumbers and whoever. So, like, there are cool, everyone loves Mewtwo, Charizard, Dragonite, right? Jolteon, as Sam said. Like, there are bangers. There are bangers from Gen 1, but, you know, there's a lot of plumbers and carpenters in Kanto also, like Muck and Electrode and Steel.
Yeah, no, you're right, Joe. I think like Voltorb had to drive a cab in the off season like, to make it meet. So that's that
exactly.
obviously was something that they had to deal with in Gen 1. Dugong, I think, like, I mean, he
was a doctor and could only play in home games.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was really odd. He was on a minutes limit. I'm with Sam too. I think the names kind of get a little tiresome. I mean, listen, it's 600 Pokemon, right? Or how many Pokemon are there now?
You wish, brother. There's 1,035 of them.
Yeah, I mean, in 1,035 of anything, you're gonna have one or two just lazy phone it in. I mean, there's an ice cream Pokemon. How nobody's just eating that Pokemon makes no sense to me. And I love Vanillish. But, like, you would just think, and by the way, just, I mean, if we're going to get a little meta here, the laws of Darwinism just don't apply to Pokemon because, like, Vanillish would have just been extinct a long time ago.
What is he?
Right.
What is he? What's the evolution there to, like, stop predators from attacking it? To look more delicious?
Look more delicious.
He'd have to have, like, some sort of gluten repellent. Right? Like, he would have to...
He'd have to taste terrible, yeah.
Yeah, is Vanillish gluten-free one is the most important question when talking about the ice cream Pokemon.
Maybe vanilla is just poisonous to Pokemon, like how dogs can't eat chocolate.
Ooh,
like,
good point.
Good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, Mewtwo tries some ice cream and it's just instantly, like, vaporized. Like, maybe it's just that's their universe.
And I blame the Kanto public school systems for not educating us correctly on that. God knows where Professor Oak was. So that's a good point there, Sam. Yeah, listen, you just get lazy. I mean, also, let's be honest, in Gen 1, they just named their Pokemon off of how the Pokemon sounded. Like, Charizard just said Charizard, so they said, okay, we're going to name him Charizard. Like, that's the same thing with Squirtle and Pikachu. So, yeah, I don't know what my point is, but I'm making it.
I see what you're saying. Is there is just it's. I feel like Pokemon is a product of what am I trying to say? Everything about the designs is a product of its own success. Like they like it's just like, oh, I can't believe they made a key Pokemon. I'm like, yeah, or dude, they're at like Pokemon 500. It's a miracle they didn't get to key in like 300. Like, be thankful.
Yeah, like Trubbish, who's just a pile of trash, or Vanillix, who's just ice cream, right? That was Gen 5. They made it 5 generations before that. You don't hear too many complaints about the Hoenn Pokedex, right, or the Sinnoh Pokedex, about like the simplicity of it. And Gen 5 was intentionally simplistic and back to the Kanto roots, where there were a lot of simple designs.
You also have to remember for Gen 5, they made an effort to like make 100 and like I correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. Gen 5's the Pokedex with the largest new Pokemon in a game because they wanted a wholly new Pokedex with no returning Pokemon for the,
Correct.
Until the post game.
Yeah, they had 150 new Pokemon where like different games like X and Y only had, I think it was 60 Pokemon, but then it gets up more if you count the Mega Evolution designs, and Sun and Moon is less than 100, and like pretty much now. And I think designs are cooler now, quote unquote cooler. They're maybe over designed. Some of the, if you were to look, if like Perez looked through the Scarlet and Violet Pokedex and looked at the designs, you'd say, wow, they put some effort into here, but they may not feel as iconic or as cool as they used to, because it's kind of like, feels like they're filling out a Pokedex now in like just trying to get the numbers in. But sometimes when they do put intention behind a design like Armarouge or Ceruledge or Golden Go, sometimes Dondozo as well. And like there are some things in Scarlet and Violet and in the recent games that you're like, okay, somebody cooked here.
I'm definitely in the people who complain about the Pokemon designs need to go touch grass.
Yeah.
Is how I feel, because it's just.
I will say though,
the
last 2 generations, the last 2 games when I did my like first playthrough, I just used old Pokemon. So maybe that's just, besides the starter, right?
I always try to use new Pokemon. I make it.
So maybe that's me as an old head. That's me, as an onk, whatever, in the first take universe, however we want to explain it, where I just stick with what I'm comfortable with and I don't give new Pokemon a chance. Maybe I need to be a little more open here.
I always, with intention, use new Pokemon when I play these new games. Because, like, that's the point. I want to play with the new guys.
Nah, give me Tyranitar, baby.
See, you're boring. Question 3. Who is the most practical Pokemon to have in real life?
Ooh. What does practical mean in this sense?
Yeah, do you mean like as a pet or like to deploy against your enemies?
For a business or
not for as a all right, I don't mean as a pet, and I don't mean as to deploy against my enemies. I'm meaning like
you have a Pokemon.
Well, it's like the help with day to day, like do your laundry, cook your food. Not deploying, not to like be like, I'm not even gonna say what I wanted.
You're not gonna like all the Gardevoir answers about to come out.
Yeah, no. Well, that's fingers on the buzzer, buddy.
I'm going. All right, I'm locking in Ivysaur. Okay, this is what I've held this opinion maybe for like 20 years at this point. When someone says like if one Pokemon could exist now. Here's the thing. If I lived in the Pokemon world, I don't want to be Ash Ketchum. I don't want to be dealing with legendaries and falling off of cliffs and needing to be saved by gods and all the crazy stuff. And the whole world is at, the seconds away from being destroyed. I just want to have a little garden, live my life, do what's best for me. And I think Ivysaur is a good middle ground because it could help you with your garden, your planting your crops and everything. It's going to be helpful there, putting the seeds down, the bullet seeds and whatnot. It's not as big as Venusaur, so you can keep it in the house. You can keep the Ivysaur in the house because Venusaur might be a little more difficult to. That'd be like having a what's one of those big dog breeds, like the
Mastiffs,
like a Mastiff or whatever. Compared to Ivysaur's a little more, let's say mid-tier size, like a retriever or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a little easier to fit in the house. It can grab items off the shelf for you if I'm in the middle of cooking and I need to go get add the adobo or whatever. It can use its vines to open the cabinet and grab it for me. I'm picking Ivysaur.
I have a few. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, this is more of a well, if I'm not using it as a pet, I'm not using it against my enemies. I'm going to use it to enrich my personal life. And I have devised a way where I never have to deal with the MTA again. I never have to deal with commuting, renting a car, dealing with TSA. I am going to use Alakazam's teleport power to get me around wherever I need to go, whenever I need to go. And it will save me many, many thousands of dollars. And I'll have a cool friend also.
Wow, that's pretty
He'll be
anti.
real jealous of me with oh, hey, it's
Cool
a teleport guy. Like, yeah.
Cool
Think
friend.
it's,
He could read people's minds, so you could have conversations with the Alakazam. You know.
I don't need that. I just need to get around. I don't want to deal with the MTA anymore, Joe. The mind reading is great. He's very powerful. He can learn all sorts of shit. But
Well,
like,
I didn't know you were just
I had to go
like
get my-
Mayor Adams and Sean Duffy, who are so afraid
No,
of the
stop,
subway.
Stop this. Stop this.
I'm just
It's not a fear thing. It's that, you know, sometimes
It's a
I
convenience.
walk that there's a subway near me, and you walk down the steps and it says, "Oh, the next one train isn't for 12 minutes." Not anymore. Alakazam, let's go. Like, we're out of here. Like, it's I mean, the question was, who's the most practical Pokemon? And as someone who is getting around a lot, give me the teleport.
That's pretty practical.
Makes the commute to Stanford a little easier.
Oh, that too. Like, what I want to spend an hour and a half on Metro North if I end up on a local? No, I just want to snap my fingers and take me to Edit 12, buddy. Let's go.
That's a good point. And then you wouldn't mind staying a little later at work too, because you're not going to miss a train.
All right.
Well, that's
All right.
second
Copy, man.
five sit Alakazam's got me out. I look at him
Capitalism
and give him a
really
nod.
Oh, sorry. Can only teleport twice per day. Can't come back to the office. Gonna have to be an email, buddy.
I think you could help with tasks too, Alakazam. You know, smart Pokemon. You can help break things down.
Well,
I
took the I need a Pokemon to open my cabinet for me, so I didn't want to tread on that water. So
That's true.
And I have a garden. It's not just constant cabinet door opening.
I'm gonna go with Chansey.
Oh.
Chansey's just like a good live-in nurse.
Also, eggs are
I'm dealing with-
expensive.
Eggs are very expensive. They're
eggs,
going through
eggs
the
right
roof.
now, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're a good, Chansey's good cook, apparently. I don't know. Never been to a Chansey restaurant, although they're tough to get in with the reservation. Chansey's a good one. I think it's Gen 1, so it's right up my alley. I know what Chansey looks like. You can give Chansey its own bedroom or just put her in a closet. Keep her in the kitchen. So that works.
She does just sit there next to Nurse Joy forever. She
Pretty much,
doesn't
doesn't
seem like she is upset about it. Like she's posted up.
I heard she also comes with her own prescription book. So like if you ever need scripts, that's good. Yeah, so I'm going with Chansey just for that. Alakazam was my first choice, and then right behind that was Rotom, who just, can control, like if you have a smart home, Rotom is the best Pokemon there. So
I think none of us get this point because Rotom is probably the most practical Pokemon because there's 800 million different Rotom devices that, if we're asking practical, Ted.
Yeah, but my phone does what Rotom does, so,
Alakazam does too.
He cannot, Alakazam cannot take me from my apartment in Brooklyn to Edit 12 in Sanford, Connecticut.
No, you're right about that, but it does have the knowledge. Like if you want to look up different routes, if you want to look up different things, Alakazam can help.
AI.
My phone can also do my taxes, but also I have to pay. I also have to pay to get my taxes done. Whereas Alakazam will just do my taxes.
You think Alakazam is free in this economy?
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Looks like Ted is a real market
Well, no,
capitalist.
because I'm about to. No, see, this is why I'm too smart for you guys. The most practical Pokemon is Meowth because I'm using Payday on all the rich fat cats, getting a bunch of free money,
Oh, it just crashed. Well, the economy's already crashed.
Look,
But crash the
man, it's-
economy anyway. Ask the Confederacy what happens when you just introduce more currency. Ask
I'm
what
not
happens.
No, Joe. I'm not introducing more currency.
That's what payday does.
No, I'm
Yeah,
stealing.
true.
I'm stealing money.
Oh, okay.
Ted's
all
idea
right.
of fixing the economy is just print more money.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to Finance Bros. I'm going to the rich people. I'm using payday on them. They're dropping.
me out at a time.
They're dropping however much money payday scales to, and then that money's mine.
Well, as it yours, it should be given to the community, Ted.
Well, that's why you pay taxes.
Not anymore.
What do you mean? Not
Sam-
anymore. I still pay taxes.
Because I'm hiring Sam's Alakazam.
I'm still.
We're not
You still
paying him.
well, like just because you're hiring the Alakazam doesn't mean the IRS doesn't know how much you owe the government.
Alakazam has a little green visor.
Yeah.
He's underneath the lamp. doing
With
it.
he doesn't use a calculator. He uses an abacus.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
He's my chauffeur and my CPA. How is that not the most practical?
That's very practical.
That's a good point.
Question number 4: if you were in charge of Pokemon, who would you have picked to be the mascot of the games? Not like who would you have picked to be the guy?
This is like
to be the
who's new
Pikachu. Yeah.
Oof.
That's we got to limit it to
Yes, it is limited to Gen 1
here,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
would say yes, but if you want to throw out a different newer Pokemon, I'm not gonna ding you for it.
It's a tough call.
It
It's
is
150 of them, Ted,
or more to see.
and more to see.
Yeah. Because for me, the answer I would pick Snorlax.
Really?
Yeah, because I have to think about it in a character design aspect, which is like you want round. This is why Fat Pikachu was the goat. You want round shaped Pokemon because they're more inviting and more friendly to look at. And who's the round besides Voltorb? Who's the roundest MFer out there? Is the big fat guy.
Snorlax.
Snorlax.
Your round theory also works as we know the old adage that Clefairy was supposed to be the mascot of the series, and Clefairy is very round.
Yeah.
Pikachu's roundish. At least chubby Pikachu was.
Old Pikachu was my real Pikachu, my real king.
The real Pikachu.
And I think I might be stepping on Joe's toes, but I'm going to go with Lucario. Lucario, very edgy, but lovable. He's got his own movie, huge in Japan. And like the biggest thing about marketing to children, and this is a big reason why they made Ash and Misty so similar, was especially when Pokemon was coming out, was that market research dictates that boys will only play for like boy specific teams and girls will play with boys toys, but boys won't play with girls toys. So like that's why Barbie never connected with boys, but like girls will connect with boys toys. So for instance, they made Misty just another Ash, except she just was a little bit more feminine. And I think you could do the same thing with Lucario. Like everybody likes Lucario, hard fighting type, more action oriented than Pikachu, who just sits around. And I think like there's just like a power system, like I said, has its own movie, and you're connecting the generations. Because if I knew of Lucario in Gen 1, he'd be my favorite Pokemon. And I know he's many current Pokemon fans' favorite Pokemon. So I think like that's a good bridge between our generations and like the newer generations.
I was going to ding you, but I like your answer, so I will not.
Lucario easily a top 5 most popular Pokemon for sure out all 1,000+ of them, including with me. You know.
Yeah, well, not for me.
I think I might get dinged for this answer, but I think like you guys have already mentioned the like, oh, we need something like cute, it appeals to lots of people, but also people always want what they can't have, and that's why I think Mew would be the best option.
Ooh.
Where you have this as the the quote unquote face of the game, and it's something that you can't really experience in the game. I mean, I know you can do glitches and whatnot to get Mew in Red and Blue, but the idea that you have everybody working towards like, okay, we're trying to get to 151, and it's not even something you can really get until the next generation, or of course the movie. But I think that'd be my choice if we had to execute Pikachu and pick a new mascot.
We're not executing Pikachu.
That's what the
Pikachu can
question
still
implied.
live. Pikachu can still exist in that one patch of grass in Viridian Forest. It's cool
That's
for
right.
Pikachu.
Or in the entirety of Yellow.
Yeah.
That's where you catch it. That's where you can catch it. I think it's only like it's a very low % chance to show up.
Yes,
though.
yes. Yeah. Joe, who is the mascot? Who's your new boss?
I don't care if it gets dinged. That's right. I won't be saying Pikachu anymore.
Yeah.
When I say, Pikachu wants this, or Pikachu said this, or shout outs Pikachu, whatever. This, I don't care if it gets dinged. This is the correct answer. The answer is Eevee. Eevee is arguably already the secondary mascot with how iconic. There are literal sets of TCG continually for the rest of time built around all evolution designs. It gives kids decisions. It gives them creative choices, especially if we go back to Gen 1, where you and all your friends on the playground can all make different decisions on what you evolve your Eevee into. I think you have 8 evolutions there. If it was the mascot, there'd probably be even more. You might have one of every type of evolution for the entire Pokemon typing spectrum. And it's already pseudo co-mascot because of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, right? It's showing how popular it is. And I think at this point, it's a slam dunk. And I love Eevee. I feel like everyone loves the good old Eevee action.
I was debating about dinging you. I think at the end of the day, I couldn't bring myself to do it.
You didn't have the heart to do it.
I didn't have the
I
heart.
respect it.
Question 5. Is the Charizard card only worth a lot because we gassed him up as kids and they recognize that? If we were all about Butterfree, would that card be the big one? I know I asked you this before, Joe, but I would like it on official channels.
I guess we can ask with the question, what other valuable cards are there from the retro era besides the Charizard? Because it's not just that it's Charizard, it's also a rarity thing, right? Because those cards were rarer than the Weedles and the Pidgeys and stuff in the card game.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously Charizard's the big one, but like there aren't ones that are like as valuable as that. Like the legendary birds are up there, but like nowhere near like the glazing we give the Charizard card.
I think it's 2 things. I think one is just like, obviously when you're playing Red and Blue, you only have 3 options to start the game. So a lot of people pick Charmander, evolved into Charizard. They loved him. And then, I got to get this as a card. But also just like on the card itself, like Charizard just straight up looks really badass. Like he's looking to the side, his tail's on fire. Like he's ready to fuck shit up. And not, the Butterfree, no offense to Butterfree, like doesn't really convey the same thing.
Butterfree was
on
the
the
example,
Pokemon card.
obviously, right?
Right. But just like in general, like not every single Pokemon card is meant to give off the same sense of like fearlessness, intimidation, and just the raw cool factor that the Charizard card did.
It does look really cool.
Yeah.
We have to be honest.
And that's why it stuck with us as a kid, and that's why 20 years later, everyone's like, I gotta get a Charizard card and pay thousands of dollars for it.
Yeah, I'm with Sam. The first Pokemon card set that I got had the holographic Charizard in it, and I wish I saved it and put it in some laminate and then sold it for $400,000. But no, I'm with you. Like it had all the ingredients. It's a perfect card. It's a no-nonsense Pokemon. It's a popular Pokemon. So yes, I think that had a lot to do with it. Not like because I'm sure there is a Butterfree brigade out there that wants all justice for Butterfree or other Pokemon, Sandslash, Tangela, execute. But there's nobody like Charizard. He's a one of one, a unique character. The conversation always finds its way back to Charizard. So yes, for those reasons, I think Charizard is worth a lot because it is a unique and defiant Pokemon of that era.
was it just society's fault that it was this popular and not like any Pokemon didn't really like they printed cards all the starters final evolutions got holographics and it's just like everyone had gravitated to Charizard.
But to a point, right? Like even other as popular or cool looking or even rarer Pokemon, right? Like Mewtwo and Mew and other stuff and the birds, like they might have had the same rarity within the opening of the packs or whatever, but there is something unique to Charizard. So, to my answer here, like the market dictates what the value is, right? And the market has determined that Charizard is inherently more valuable than other Pokemon. So I don't think it's pure gaslighting.
No, I'm not saying gaslight. I'm saying it's like, because like Pokemon didn't like the way I'm saying is like Wizards of the Coast or whoever's printing the cards weren't like, let's make Charizard even more difficult to find. It was more like we as like society as consumers are the reason it's valued is what I was getting.
I would agree that was us. That was as society created the value the same way as I see with all these sports cards where a guy, you sell a card or you hit a card and it's $15,000 and then he goes for a 1 for 25 stretch and now it's a $13,000 card. Like it's very fickle and based off of people's perception.
But Charizard's never going to go. Charizard's never hidden below the Mendoza line.
He can.
I would argue that Charizard is the Barry Bonds of Pokemon, in that he was very ornery, only showed up when he wanted to.
Can't teach other Pokemon how to hit.
Can't teach other.
Exactly. What do you have to say about that, Joe?
Listen, I respect it. I respect Perez. I respect your Pokemon. We've had podcast discussions before on Pokemon, and I respect your knowledge. Now, you did think that Charizard was not a flying type, so today has not been your strongest performance compared to prior podcasts.
He knew that he was.
I would like to correct for the record. I knew that he was eventually. I just remember there being one game where you couldn't make him fly. Now, I don't know if in red and blue you couldn't make him fly, but then in yellow you could. Does that still count?
I just told you. Yeah, I just told you. Gen 1 you could teach him fly.
The whole time.
There was one game. Maybe it was Ruby and Sapphire.
Was it made by Nelson Mandela? Was this a Mandela effect game that makes you think he couldn't fly?
Can you also catch the Berenstain Bears?
Yes.
Now, before I get to the last question, Under the Wire, winner of the last episode, Mr. Not on the books, not crooked in any way, straight up guy, Ross has come in with a question. After two questions, essentially ones I had asked, we're third time's the charm, comedy rule of threes. He comes in with, in a world where a Pokemon goes bad and begins to kill humans, who would be the one and what would its motive be?
Wow. Nice.
Happy. Only there was some sort of movie about this.
Detective Pikachu and Pokemon, the first movie. Yes, we're all familiar.
First of all, there are many Pokemon attempting to kill many people in many of the Pokemon movies. This is not a Mewtwo specific thing. There's been 20 movies made, and I'd probably say in about 18 or 19 of them, there's been existential murderous threats.
Pokemon 2000, they're not trying to kill people. Because the
That's
three birds,
18 or 19 of them.
The three birds are just trying to kill Lugia. Entei, the Pokemon unknown in the Legend of Entei, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
That guy's not trying to kill people.
It's called Pokemon the Third movie.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to. Is it really just the third movie? So you get Pokemon the first movie, Pokemon 2000, and third one. And then what's the fourth one? Pokemon and Ash kisses. Oh, Forever.
Celebi.
And then
Forever.
And then the next one's Pokemon 5. He kisses Latias.
Heroes, yes.
Is that the one where he kisses the Pokemon?
Yes. I mean, Mewtwo did do it. He did. He struck back, as they like to say. But
Hold on.
That's
shut
not.
up. You gotta.
No. That's not my answer. That's not my answer. I can't get dinged for something that's not my answer, Ted. Look at the rule book.
Yeah, the one I made.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't jump down my throat for saying that.
has the imaginary or not? What's the hidden text called? Like where you gotta like
The fine
like
print?
put it up. No. Like when you were a kid, like those little mystery books where you're a kid, like you had to like squeeze
Invisible
lemon, invisible ink.
Oh,
Thank
the
you.
invisible ink.
It has the rule doc has invisible ink on
No,
it
it
that says that
doesn't.
Ted always concocts the draft victories for himself.
I did.
So
That's
invisible
not
ink.
Agreed.
there. I'm gonna say it again. Please vote. Because as of right now, when we do the next draft episode next time, I'm gonna have to fucking deal with this again. So please vote, even if you're voting for me. But like, come on, please vote. We need numbers, because if I say how many people voted, I'm gonna get hung.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Vote your conscience, but also if you don't vote for Ted. you're
That's
getting-
not what I'm saying.
I hear that's what I'm hearing. It's two different conversations.
See, I
here.
can't freaking
To answer
win.
Roz's question,
Yeah.
it is which Pokemon is most likely to do this, or which is the biggest threat if it does go a world-ending mode.
It just goes. Pokemon goes bad and begins to kill. Who would it be, and what would its motives be?
So I
it's
think
not
most
like
likely to do it. I think
not
it's Darkrai.
It's not most likely. It's just like, who would it be?
Well, he's asking what Pokemon is capable of trying to be world-ending here.
I think
So
all
it's not going to be Mud. It's not Mudkip.
No, what do you mean? Didn't you see that one video when Mudkip beat everyone?
Mudkip controls the
By
banks.
doing
too.
nothing, Luigi style.
Yeah, Luke Walton style.
I'm going Darkrai. Darkrai is the king of nightmares. He might try to take over the world and make everybody fear him, and you don't want to step outside. You don't want to get put to sleep because you could die in your sleep, Freddy Krueger style. So I think Darkrai is probably the biggest threat to humanity at this point, outside of like Arceus or something. But I don't think Arceus would do it. He's benevolent. That's my guy right there. He wouldn't do that.
Do you say Arceus or Arceus?
It is unfortunately Arceus, because I always tell this tidbit. The localization team is British, and in British speech, arse is ass, so they didn't want it to be Asius, so the pronunciation is Arceus.
Oh. Well, I'm not paid by Pikachu, so I'm gonna just keep saying it wrong.
I wish it was Arceus, but it can't be. Also, in Legends ZA, when you have your Rotom phone or your it's called your ARC phone, right? It's not called the Arse phone. It's not a butt phone.
But is it an ARC phone?
It's ARC, yeah.
Yeah, then obviously it's not gonna be like Arse.
But it's shaped like Arceus. It's literally like
It's shaped
the
like
design of-
Arceus? Really?
in ZA, yeah.
That's crazy. These people gotta knock it off.
You're gonna cut it out.
Yeah.
Who would you be scared of, Sam? Who would you be scared of?
So here's my answer. What is like the most important price factor of anything that we factor into our daily lives nowadays?
Taxes.
Wrong. It's eggs. That's why
Oh, right.
execute
Yeah.
is the thing that is going to determine the future of our country. Execute holds all the power. And like I went to Trader Joe's yesterday, pretty early, I would say, like
Yeah.
maybe 11 a.m. And they had on the signs, 1 carton per person. They were already sold completely out of eggs.
Wow.
Execute, if it so chose, could destroy our society. Is my answer to Roz's question.
It's crazy that you say that, because I go to my grocery store and there's just like eggs stacked up. No one is buying these eggs.
I'm the
expensive.
same
Well,
way,
it's
Ted.
because at Trader Joe's they're cheaper because it's the same price nationwide. Fun
Are
fact.
they really cheaper at
Oh.
Trader Joe's?
Yeah, in New York City it is. Yeah.
How much are they at Trader Joe's? I'm learning right now.
I don't know because they were sold out yesterday when I went to go buy eggs. So
Because
Too
if you,
cheap.
it could be anything.
it could be $5 for a dozen of eggs.
It could be $5 for 5 eggs. I wouldn't know. Like they were already gone yesterday. So anyway, that's why Execute holds all the cards and
It's fair.
could
It's fair.
completely
Damn,
upend
that's-
society.
That's a crazy answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the same pick again, but I'll just evolve it this time. I'm going with Blissey. I think the Blissey community has been
Let's hear 'em out.
overshadowed and overlooked. Hear me out. You know, Chansey and Blissey always give off this nurturing mother energy, and like there was nobody that I hated to disappoint more than my own mother. Now we've just taken them for granted for all these years next to Nurse Joy, always there for us, and I think they've had it. You know, they're underpaid, they're underappreciated, they don't get the benefits. 401k is dribbling up. So, you know, for a Pokemon that radiates kindness, if you take that away, then what's the difference between Blissey and, I don't know, Mewtwo, or name another evil Pokemon, Dratini? You know, so there's plenty of that would be the big issue. They're the core of our Pokemon infrastructure and economy. And if Blissey were to turn over, it'd be really bad. So that's my answer.
I feel like a single close combat from any Pokemon thwarts the Blissey brigade.
I'm sorry to the audio listeners. My answer is going to be a visual aid. Take a look at this guy and don't tell me he doesn't look like somebody.
Oh my god, you're such an idiot, dude.
What do you mean?
He's like 2 feet tall and in one region.
So?
He's not taking over the world.
Yeah, but look at he looks a lot like a guy who is.
Oh my goodness.
Just like Mike Dukakis.
Into Professor Oak.
My real answer, I put a picture of the Gumshoes, the Pokemon that looks like a certain president. The real answer is, and I'm going to take this answer from Wolfie Glick, who got asked once, what's a Pokemon that's on YouTube spreading right-wing propaganda? And it's Incineroar. He's wearing the He's wearing the MAGA hat. He's calling everyone soy boy.
He's using DEI as a substitute for slurs.
He's just poisoning the minds of everyone.
Classic Incineroar.
The Joe Rogan of the Pokemon world.
Whoa. Incineroar wouldn't have that Spotify contract.
I don't know. He's having Professor Oak come on to talk about how like Pokemon evolution's not actually real. You're the Pokemon you are. Yeah.
Gardevoirs are turning, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Not finishing that one.
All right. Last question, and it's gonna take a while to parse through, so we're gonna go individually on it. But which Pokemon would you draft number 1 overall in each of the big 3 sports? We'll start with basketball.
Stephen A. Smith, the future Democratic presidential nominee,
yeah,
was asked a couple years ago who he would take in a one-on-one between LeBron and Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
And
I believe it was Mewtwo, Sam, as he pronounced it.
Correct, as Stephen A. pronounced it. But Stephen A. obviously comes from a basketball background, not a Pokemon background, so he was very inclined to just go with LeBron, and it's an idiotic thing. But as he was sort of breaking down Mewtwo's size, his tail, his abilities, he was sort of talking himself into it being an even battle. And so as someone who has more of a Pokemon background, like having played the games, I really don't think it's a debate. Like if we're having a draft, obviously I don't know how many generations are there? 7, 8 at this point?
Nine.
No, good Lord. Well, I don't know 7 of the generations then, but if I'm at the podium with the number 1 pick in my hand, I'm writing Mewtwo down and handing it to Adam Silver.
I wanna. So Mewtwo's 7 feet tall, and if I'm remembering
as a nerve, he's good under pressure.
If I remember the clip correctly, he says psychic type, so he can get inside LeBron's head. I believe it's something he had concluded to. I said this to, I think I said this to you, Joe, when we were playing Marvel Rivals once, because we love these clips. And I said to you, I was like, if Stephen A. Smith's whole job was just like answering these questions, Stephen A. Smith would be on my television 24/7. I would never not be watching him.
Yes.
And one of my favorite ones is like, I think it's the like, which of the Kanto starters, who are you picking? And he's describing like Blastoise with cannons. And my favorite tweet of all time is me trying not to break down in my 2015 Honda SUV, crying about my divorce as my kid in the background is talking about Pokemon. And it's the Stephen A. Smith going, Blastoise got cannons.
Yeah. Not as it's not. He doesn't say not as docile. He says something about about Charizard's claws and how that can help.
Yeah.
And he says unlike Venusaur.
Venusaur. Yeah.
You
know. John, who are you picking 1-1 in the draft for basketball?
Bulbasaur, without a doubt. And the reason is Bulbasaur is not too big, good point guard size, but has I'm gonna get roasted for this. But he's got the I'm sorry?
No, do your thing. You're good.
Yeah, he's got they're not tentacles. What are they? The
vines.
He's got the vines. Right. He's got the vines. Could get a loose ball, can go up, get a rebound.
He's getting the passing lanes.
Right, exactly. And that's very underrated. When you talk to coaches and they talk about things that don't show up on the stat sheets, it's deflections and getting in the passing lane. There's nobody else that'll get in the passing lane like Bulbasaur. I'm fine with taking Ivysaur as well, maybe a little bit faster.
I was looking up those numbers for you if you wanted to change your answer. Ivysaur's a little bit faster.
Ivysaur's a little bit faster, but, Bulbasaur on a rookie contract, you still have him until he evolves to Ivysaur. Once you get an Ivysaur to a Venusaur, then it's over. Now it's just you're clogging the lane. It's like having Shaquille O'Neal on the Celtics.
I want you to know, Bulbasaur's 2 feet tall, so I don't know what a perfect point guard size is. Venusaur is 6 feet tall.
Question for Sam, who is a resident basketball ball knower. How did Muggsy Bogues fare in the NBA?
I mean, listen, he lasted. He had like a 10+ year career.
Right.
Right, and he didn't have vines.
Right, exactly. He didn't have vines.
Fair point.
He didn't even need vines. Nate Robinson won those dunk contests without vines.
Right.
Here's my other argument, Sam. If you had to judge Blake Griffin's career as an NBA player, how would you judge it?
I would say there was some untapped potential there.
Right,
personally.
but he had a very good career, long career.
Yeah.
The issue is that he was a 1-1 pick. But many teams, and I think at one point every team in the league would love to have a Blake Griffin on their team. So, because he was picked 1-1, everyone looks at him like LeBron James or in that ilk of being a top overall player, Hakeem Olajuwon, so on and so forth. But teams would love to have Blake Griffin on their team. Every team would love to have a 2-foot point guard that could get in the passing lane and has good vines. So I'm going with Bulbasaur all day, baby.
Every team.
All right, Joe. 1-1. Who's draft board's wide open for you?
So this is our second Muggsy Bogues reference of this first round here, but I posted the photo for Perez and Sam. This is Marshadow. Second time talking about him. So he is a ghost fighting type. A little bit taller than Bulbasaur, so I got you on the height, but still in the Muggsy Bogues category. He's able to slip in and out of existence, so as a ghost type, so he's elusive. You're not going to be able to foul him. You can't hack-a-shack the Marshadow because he's just going to be able to slip out, hold the basketball, get untouched, can't steal it from him if he's not on the same plane of existence as you are. Very fast Pokemon. On defense, he's going to have that Draymond dog in him. As a fighting, you just start punching people on the other end, kicking them in the nuts, and being surprised he gets punished for kicking people in the nuts. I think Marshadow is going to be my all around defender, offensive guy, elusive, going to be able to move quickly around, pass the rock well. I think Marshadow's my basketball pick.
All right. I got to go. A wise man. A wise GM said defense wins championships after a big trade happened. So that's why I got to go with follow his lead. I'm going with standing at a tall 35 feet 9 inches. I gotta go with Alolan Executor.
I knew it was coming.
You're not getting anything by him. He's blocking every shot. Don't know how you.
But
Yeah,
isn't it just goaltending at all times? Are you're playing the long game? You're going to give up goaltending at the hopes of not,
I think if he's
giving
standing
up
right in front of
It's
you
called rim
against,
protection, Joe.
it's called rim protection.
He's
You're gonna.
like a taller Tyson Chandler, basically.
Yeah,
taller
yeah.
Wemby.
That's going for.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Taller
very
Wemby,
physical in the paint. Like if the ball, he's not grabbing the ball. He's not gonna be like a rebounder type, but he's gonna get the tap outs easily. I just like defense wins championships. Anthony Davis wins championships, so that's why you got to go with defense first.
Well, Executor has a unibrow.
That's he. Well, he has 3 heads, so.
I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. I did think about it for basketball.
All right, football. Who you picks up? You're on the board for football. Who you taking? I'll go first. I think we always hear it. Football's won in the trenches, I believe, is a saying. Is that correct?
I'm taking my pick here. Yeah.
I don't know if I am. I'm taking Reggie Steele, either center or one of the tackles. I think it's gonna be very hard to move him around, get some moves on him. I don't think you're gonna be you have to be extra physical to get by him, and I don't think you will be.
The question is, before Sam answers, because hold on one sec, Sam. But to help you out for clarification, is the tush push still legal?
It's as of now, it's legal. As of
now,
it's
legal. So answer accordingly, okay?
Also, and the kickoffs to the 35 or something. I don't know what these new kickoff rules. They change it every year.
They punch you in the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very worried that Ted was going to take my pick when he mentioned winning in the trenches, because I'm thinking of keep when the Patriots had their dynasty originally. It was Vince Wilfork in the middle, stopping the run, knocking down passes. What if we had a bigger, taller, fatter Vince Wilfork? I'm putting Snorlax at nose tackle.
I had thought about Snorlax.
You are never running the ball on my team. God forbid I drop him back into pass coverage. He's 6'11", and he can knock down passes.
God forbid.
And sometimes teams Joe was sort of alluding to, if I put Snorlax behind my quarterback on a tush push, he's not getting. He's in that. Yards. He's getting 30.
Travis Hunter role right now. It's nose tackle running back.
Yeah.
Right. He's a fat Travis Hunter. Is sort of what I'm going for. Work ethic is a little bit of a concern, but I think that we'll be able to figure things out.
Could have that flute handy on the sideline.
Right. I can't remember the last time a defensive tackle went number 1. I don't think Sue didn't go number 1.
No.
The last time a defensive
Mario Williams, right?
He was an edge rusher though.
Oh, he's an edge.
Like a guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think we're gonna make history here. We're gonna take Snorlax.
Yeah, I was debating Snorlax. I was like, do I go Snorlax to really clog up the lanes? I'm like, oh no, you got to protect the QB. You got to make sure you got that clean pocket. Because if I'm going with Matthew Stafford over Mahomes type, I got to keep that pocket clean for him.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have the tush push clarification, because Snorlax on the tush push is obviously unstoppable.
Yeah, game changer.
He's a less attractive Jalen Hurts out there.
Well, to you, maybe.
Love is love, Sam. I get it.
Exactly.
Joe is more appealing to Lucario types.
You shut your... Oh, my God. We'd kill you.
Joe, pick it.
All right.
You are on the board.
Foundational football, as we have mentioned, is won in the trenches. And if Sandra Bullock has taught us anything, it's important to have a good blind side protecting the quarterback. So I'm taking a left tackle which has been first overall picks. You
Yeah,
do see first overall picks out of left tackles compared to nose tackles. And I'm taking Hariyama with them big hands.
Going
and I'm running
the replacements route.
The exclusively pass protection. I'm passing the ball. I'm West Coast offense air raiding it out here because one, I think Hariyama would have a tough time getting up from the 3-point stance with those hands. They're very, very heavyweight forward on them. So I want him to be in pass protection mode at all times. And good luck for Aiden Hutchinson trying to rush past those hands that Hariyama has. Just absolutely good luck. It's not happening. I'm keeping my blind side protected at all times.
Like we're all going very O-line, D-line centric.
It's a very late 90s draft strategy.
It's a hard nose football era here in the draft.
I'll switch it up a little bit.
All right.
I'll go with a skill position. In fact, the most important position in the modern NFL today, and that's at the quarterback position, and I'm going with Gallade. Quick reflexes, short arm precision, pinpoint passes. It all starts with the quarterback. You start with a good quarterback, you can build around it. Those franchises don't know how to do that, but when you get a good quarterback in the room, you need to build around him. So I'm going with Gallade.
I like
he's a psychic type, so he could get in the defense's head.
And hey, you know what? Also, he's a fighter.
He is a fighter.
Right. He's an every down kind of guy.
He's gonna stay through wear and tear.
Here's my question about Gallade. Is he a gym rat? Is he a first and last out kind of guy? Someone you'll let date your daughter?
Absolutely.
All right.
Without a question.
And finally, baseball. Who is your number one pick? John, you're on the board.
There's a lot of good picks.
Yeah.
I would say... See, because is Tommy John a thing in this scenario?
Yes. If the tush push is a thing...
Pokemon can get injured, yes.
Yes, if the tush push is a thing, Tommy John is a thing.
Because it's like, do I want... Like, for instance, would I want Greninja to be my best pitcher? Or do I go with, like, Exadrill at third base? Like, what do I do here?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Well, you see, here's the thing. In football and basketball, you kind of draft for need, right? Sometimes in basketball, you draft best. But in baseball, you always draft best talent available because you're going to be in the minors for a couple years developing. So let's keep that in mind.
Do a cop-out, right. No, I could do a cop-out answer and just say Lucario for all these answers because I think Lucario is probably the best athlete, natural Pokemon, because Mewtwo was, created. So, you know what? Chicks dig the long ball. I'm going with Dragonite. Absolute unit. Home run king. Sweet, kind, but can send the ball into orbit.
Whoa.
So that's what I'm going
He plays
with.
right field and he just flies up to catch the
Angels
home runs.
in the outfield style.
Exactly.
If people liked Vladimir Guerrero, they're going to love Dragonite.
I can't wait to see Dragonite defend that Yankee Stadium short porch and just hop right up.
They finally solved the problem.
Literally just stand there and catch the ball in his face.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like an idiot for using up my teleport idea for my personal life when I could have a center fielder who could teleport and get anything. But I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go with one of my favorite archetypes, which is sort of like stocky power hitter with an absolute laser. And that would be Blastoise.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a nice cleanup hitter right there.
Right. I'm worried after a couple of years I'm going to have to move him to first base, but I think I can stick him in a corner for now in the outfield and get some production. And he's a little, I just looked him up. He's apparently only 5'3", which I don't love.
He's a short king.
Yeah.
He is a short king. He probably does not have a ton of range, being perfectly honest, but I think that's a guy that we're easily penciling in for 40 homers a year minimum.
I am trying to find this article on the Pokemon website because they actually just released this back during opening day a bit ago, which is just fun.
Well, we don't got time for research, Joe.
No, well, it's for additional purposes, okay? You dingus. Lucario made the baseball team, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Disgusting.
So, I will show you my Pokemon choice and explain it to you.
I like that we're getting visual aids here.
Yes, I'm trying to help. God,
especially for the audio listeners.
Yeah.
For our audio listeners. I can't show it. I'm trying to find it. I'll find it, whatever. Yes. So, Armarouge is a Pokemon from the new games. I can't find the actual card that they posted on the website, but they took every position on the field and had Pokemon in each spot, right? And so Armarouge has an attack called Armor Cannon, and it's basically Nolan Ryan out on the field. He puts the baseball in his gun, which yes, he has a gun on the field. It's legal. It's sticky stuff legal. The umpires approved it. And it shoots it out at just laser speed. So that's my Paul Skeens. Thank you. He puts the ball there. The catcher doesn't even matter. They just put a 1 down every time because the heat's coming. Nolan Ryan's throwing that fastball. And it's going to be 1-2-3, 1-2-3 every inning.
I don't know. I think he doesn't have pitchability. A flat fastball that does nothing's very hittable. I think Blastoise and Dragonite are feasting on that every time. Poor splits.
Mariano only threw 1 pitch and it worked out pretty fine.
But that's a pitch that's moving. That pitch has natural movement.
But this pitch is going straight. The pitch is moving. It's moving at thousands of miles an hour.
It's going straight.
Not only is the Mariano comparison apropos, because what did the Pokemon Company choose to make Armarouge on their baseball roster? Oh, only the closer on the team.
See, you never draft a closer. That's the number one problem. Yeah, and that's what's going to hurt you.
A reliever 1-1.
Yeah, you're insane. And for that, Joe.
First of all, hold on. What about Clay Holmes? Okay, he went from closer to opening day starting pitcher for the Mets in 5 months. So
yeah, did you watch that?
To be completely honest here, I don't want to speak for Perez here, the resident Mets fan, but in what universe are you taking a guy whose ceiling is Clay Holmes at 1-1?
Yeah.
No, I'm just making a joke. I'm just taking a dig at the Mets. That's a pure Mets dig, not an actual point. Just want to make it clear.
I want Perez to defend himself.
Opening day starter, Clay Holmes, unseating Buddy Carlisle.
Listen, you're not. He can throw for 9. It's a gun. It's a gun. He's bringing a gun on the field, and the umpires are allowing it. He's going to strike everybody out.
Also, like if they're already considering doing something with the torpedo bats, they're not going to let the gun closer out on the field.
I know. Joe's just trying to torpedo bat his way to a victory, taking a reliever 1-1. Insane draft strategy. He'd get laughed out of the building. Even Billy Bean's laughing at you, Joe.
He doesn't have to be a reliever. It's analytics. I can throw him in whatever innings I want. He's not getting Tommy John. He's shooting a gun, Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's not using his hand. Then he's not a pitcher.
It is in his hand. I'm saying he's not.
But he's not throwing
Tommy
the
John.
ball. But he's not throwing the ball.
Point. Yeah,
he's not throwing the ball.
Right. It's not.
It's starting in his hand.
No, it's not. It's going out of the cannon.
His hands are. Spoiler alert! His hands make the cannon. Do you see the photo?
Yeah, and that's not him. And that's not him throwing the ball.
Hold on. Imagine if Mariano Rivera went to the mound and brought a fungo bat and just started hitting it at the plate. You can't allow that.
Yeah.
For the same reason you can't allow a cannon.
Well, what about Mario Sluggers? Okay, they're using some funky shenanigans when they're pitching.
That's a fucking video game, bro. This is real life.
Video game is not real life.
Oh, this is real life. That's true. That is true. This is real life. Okay. You know what?
Everyone on this pod and listening is now dumber for having heard that argument.
Joe, sit down.
You take away all your points.
Joe, be quiet. You're embarrassing yourself.
I will leave this call. I will leave this call If I the only listen, Ted can say it. The only person I can never hear say I'm embarrassing myself is Perez. When Perez says it, I get so irate that I'm gonna leave the call.
All right, I didn't even think who I'm drafting for baseball. Do I want a pitchability type of guy? What's our favorite saying every time the draft rolls around, John? He could be a number one ace if he just develops a third pitch.
Yep.
Or do I? I'm trying to think. Is there a two-way guy, someone who we think could do both?
Yeah, I think Zero Aura could do it.
Ooh, I was thinking actually.
And
as much as
not only that, Ted, he's as fast as lightning. Okay,
yeah,
lightning's pretty fast. I don't know if we're familiar.
What if I just go Reggie Lecky?
That was my other choice.
Slap hit, just not. I'm done with the two-way slap hitter. But what? Easy 150 stolen bases a year.
I mean, that's value. That's a walk's as good as a hit. That's what they say. He's gonna get to third. He's gonna get to third on a bunt.
That's what I'm saying. I got like the new age Billy Hamilton here.
Or show some respect and say Ricky Henderson. But
Ricky Henderson could actually hit.
Hit for power.
That's my difference. Like Reggie Lecky's not hitting for power. Let's be honest.
Just to boost Sam's argument here, the Pokemon Company chose Blastoise as their right fielder.
Because he's putting the ball in his cannon. He's not putting the ball in his cannon, bro.
I think, but going back to my Blastoise thing, like I think it works better if we're a team like the Yankees or the Astros, where you have like a really small corner, or Boston, like put him in left at Fenway.
I
think if we put him in a big, putting him in left field at Yankee Stadium is asking for a disaster.
They quite literally said, "We hear that Blastoise has an absolute cannon out in right field." Is he DHing at Comerica?
Because no way you want him in the outfield there.
No, he can't DH because Tinkerton is.
Well, Tinkerton's not on Sam's team. I'm asking Sam.
Right, I'm thinking I think we just have to kind of wear it.
Okay.
I don't know. Like if we're the Yankees, I'm not putting Stanton in the outfield so I can DH Blastoise.
It's like when the Braves had to put Evan Gattis in left field during the playoffs because they already had the McCann as catcher, and the Dodgers were just sort of peppering him with balls, and it was a defensive nightmare for the Braves. I don't know. I feel like picking a slap hitter fast guy is so off brand for me.
But it's value. It's analytics. Value.
I know. But if that were true, Billy Hamilton would be the best player of all time, but he's not.
But Ricky Henderson's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but Ricky, like I said, he's not having the power Ricky Henderson has.
He doesn't need it.
He's an elite defender too with that speed.
Yeah, that's true.
Factor that in.
He literally will bunt for a triple every time.
Yeah.
He doesn't need power.
And he can play center, but he can play all the outfield by himself. We can push everyone up.
OPS is through the roof for Reggie.
All right, I'm taking Reggie Lecky. No. Hold on. I have to do this to me.
Team Rocket's blasting off again.
I had realized my mistake here.
What happened?
I betrayed my own beliefs. I picked a legendary.
Does that mean I retroactively won the first question?
What
That's
first
how
question?
I'm hearing it.
No, because now I have to change my answer. I gave myself the bad take sound, Sam. I have to fucking fix this.
I just want to point out that the Pokemon Company has chosen Cinderace as their starting pitcher, and Cinderace is kicking the baseball.
Yeah, and that would never be allowed. Carter Capps wasn't even allowed to jump on the mound. You think they're going to let him kick?
I'm just saying. I'm trying to be efficient here.
I think I got my I'm going power hitter. And
the diagram is a circle with the Pokemon and Carter Capps nowheres.
Yeah, exactly. I think I got the third baseman of the future here. And I think I got a Max Muncy type. I got to go with Rillaboom.
Ooh.
Thank you. Here's what he looks like. And I'm a big Dragon Ball Z guy, big Goku guy, Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here. And I'm saying he's a drummer, so he knows he's dexterity out there to do this. I think he could be a competent third baseman. I think he's slugging.
I think he'd be a catcher too. He's got a solid base, solid foundation.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think I could get more value somewhere else at catcher. But man, I think hold on. I'm putting this on the board. We're gonna actually draft a team of baseball Pokemon for baseball, or hold on. I'm putting it on the board. But I'm going Rillaboom. I think he's
this episode or future episode.
Future episode.
Okay.
I think he is my guy. He's gonna be my third baseman of the future. He's the guy that's taking it. That they're insane. They're putting Raging Bolt. The guy doesn't have feet. He doesn't have hands to catch.
He doesn't have hands. It's not working the right way. Hold on. I'm sorry, but yes, he's a very tall man. Yeah. So he would in that short field at Minute Maid, or it's not Minute Maid anymore, but he'd be the Crawford boxes. There'd never be another home run hit because Raging
that's
Bolt.
Why. Well, that's sort of my Alolan Executor philosophy.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Why is the top photo not showing? What the heck is going on?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
But I'm going Rillaboom. I think he's going to be a good he's a third baseman you can rely on. And he's going to hit for power. He is my Max Muncy. I'm here to stand my square boy Muncy. And that's why I'm picking Rillaboom.
I respect it.
Thank you. Like I said, I had to change my... I got to change my football answer too.
Who's your legend?
I put Reggie Steele.
You are.
I am
fraud.
I am a fraud.
Fraud City population.
I can't win these episodes. Jon Perez is poisoning your mind with this information.
That's what he looks like in full.
Right, hold on.
Try hitting a home run. Try hitting a home run over that, Perez.
That's a good point.
But
he needs to be on all fours, so I don't know how he's catching.
Yeah, I don't know how he's hitting either.
With this the cloud on his neck.
That's what?
That's his glove.
How is he hitting? How is he hitting?
Listen, you take the elite defense. You take it. You take the.
It's that SB Nation video of what if Barry Bonds just went up the bat without a bat.
Yeah, you take the defensive run saved metrics of value of Raging Bolt for him batting ninth in the lineup.
All right, all right. I'm trying to think of who I'm actually drafting for football, and all I can think about is that Brett Favre Dragon Ball Z picture. Are you guys familiar with this? I know Joe is because we always laugh about it.
Yes. We'll send it to you.
I found it. Okay.
So many good visual aids on this audio podcast.
I know. I love this. The Vikings 0 Saiyans 56. And what is John Madden saying here? Favre is clearly off his game today. After 19 years of watching him play, I've never seen such a low performance. All right, who am I taking? I think I'm taking skill position. I think who can be my Travis Hunter? First time
that's probably Greninja.
No. Because I don't think
he could be slot receiver and lockdown corner.
No, because I don't think he's got the physicality to be a lockdown corner.
He's got the tongue. You just get
because he he won't be able to cover like a DK Metcalf type.
He just shoots some little frog goo on Metcalf's cleats.
Disgusting.
And then Metcalf is a little slower with the cleats.
I think I gotta go Blaziken.
Ooh,
got a little bit of a fighter in him. Has a good ran a good 40. Great vertical. Can fight for those 50-50 balls. So, I think that's my Travis Hunter.
That's a pretty good answer. That's a pretty good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Too bad you can't win.
Yeah. Too bad I can't. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. Too bad I can't win. All right. Now I'm calculating the scores here. And if you're wondering, Joe's not the winner.
Shocker.
Because we couldn't let the conspiracies run that deep.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Understandable. Have a nice day. People don't like Mariano Rivera, apparently.
If people don't like Derek Jeter. Congratulations, Sam, for winning the Pokemon episode.
Wow.
Big man Blastoise pulled it through.
Noted Pokemon expert.
It means a lot to me
Tydings.
as someone who only really knows the first two generations and was competing against an actual Pokemon expert and also Joe Brown. It just means a lot to me to pull off what I consider possibly the biggest upset in Yap-Off history.
It's in contention.
Really,
Apparently, the biggest upset's going to be whoever wins the draft that's not me. Which is never going to happen.
Whenever Ted stops putting up his sod numbers in the draft episodes, that'll be a big upset. But in the meantime, I'm really proud of this effort. I'm glad that we could finally do some sort of sports and Pokemon overlap episode.
Well, that this one has inspired
writing a really messed up question for whenever the next episode is.
I will say this episode also inspired a future draft of Pokemon baseball team. So I'm excited to see you guys have to research other Pokemon outside the 151. And we will be as scrutinous for these picks like we were for this episode, questioning every single choice.
I'm taking legendaries though. You can't stop.
Yeah, they have to be.
I will allow. I don't know. Like I want people just to pick legendaries.
No, but I'm gonna have a couple.
All right, fine. All right.
I'm meeting with the scouts this week.
Now I'm annoyed. I even said the word Reggie Lecky because Jon and Sam would have no concept of who that was.
I mean, that was my answer if it wasn't Armarouge. I was going to say Reggie Lecky. So,
yeah, but like we know who that is. They don't.
Well, I guess I
Here's
could just
what
say
I'm saying.
Chansey and Blissey for every answer and get there. You know.
No,
And that-
Perez and I are going to be like the old people scouts in Moneyball.
Yeah.
He's got an ugly girlfriend.
He's got an ugly girlfriend. We can't take him. Like
Facts.
he can't learn new attacks. We're getting him out of here. Like
Oh, as I brought up, next episode is a draft episode. Please vote. I beg of you. I cannot. Am I gonna have to wear this cross forever if I win next? I have looked at the numbers. I fear for my life if I announce the winner next week. So vote with your conscience, but also please keep me in your heart, as that might be the last time you listen to me. I will announce the next draft is a cartoon draft, non-anime division.
Ooh.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do whatever SEO stuff it does to help people find this podcast. Appreciate it or not appreciate it. You know, if you're that kind of person that needs a little hate to get you to do the work in. I've been your host, Ted. The last piece of media I watched was Val Kilmer, rest in peace, his 1984 classic, Top Secret.